You know, when it comes to this question, much is made in our world about mere differences of personality and preference. You know, a girl might be a tomboy because she rides a motorbike and fixes fences. She's considered more masculine. And we make a big deal about that and say that's the issue. A boy might be considered more feminine or girly because he likes the ballet and wants to be a costume designer. And you know, the transgender movement has come along and placed huge significance on these differences of personality and preference and claims that they are indicative of a gender identity that does not align with biological sex. And many children in the Western world right now have been deceived on that basis to pursue life-altering and frankly life-destroying treatments because they believe that they are a man in a woman's body or a woman in a man's body. It's a deception. I want to say very clearly from the outset that that line of thinking is nonsense. These things, these mere preference issues, are not ultimately significant to our essential maleness and femaleness. And you say, well, what is significant? Well, Genesis tells us that it is what we're called to do that is significant. There's things women are called to do, and there's things men are called to do in their creation mandates. And it's in Genesis chapter 2. The man is made, the man is given a job. And then the need for the woman is articulated and the reason for the need is stated. And then the woman is made and the woman is given a job. And then they are united and given a job together. And you see sameness and difference all through Genesis chapter 2. And it has a lot to do with what we are called to do. But when we find out what we're supposed to be doing, we also find out what we're supposed to be like. A woman has a creation mandate to pursue, and it is right. And this is the testimony of the rest of the Bible. If you look at any scripture that is directly addressing women, it will list virtues. And these virtues are the things that she should build into her character to be the kind of person that can pursue that creation mandate. It's virtuous, it's feminine. A man has a creation mandate to pursue, and he needs to build in himself the kind of character that is necessary to pursue it well. And again, the passages of Scripture that are addressed directly to men and list certain virtues, you can always, once I finish this creation piece, you'll see the connections. You go, oh, it's consistent. The Bible speaks with one voice. Who knew? Old Testament and New Testament, right? It's also virtuous to promote feminine and masculine callings in general, regardless of your life circumstances, but to promote them and honor them in general. That's a good thing to do. Our world tears them all down. Now, it brings me to the terms masculinity and femininity. What are they? Well, let me put it like this. Masculinity is something like this. It's the innate quality that God has placed within men, that He made male, as part of His creation design, which enables them to pursue their masculine mandate better than women ever could, with more impact than women ever could. That's the difference. See, what we're called to do is consistent with what God has placed within us, what we are like. Femininity is the same. The innate quality which God has placed within a woman in His creation of female, which enables her to pursue the feminine mandate with an effectiveness and a power that no man could ever replicate. There are things women can do that men cannot replicate and reproduce in the same way, with the same effect and the same power. A man can never be a mother. He can't do it. He can imitate, he can mimic, but there will always be something that an actual mother brings to the table which is qualitatively different. And it goes the same way with some of the male things, which we'll get into soon. I'll say it now. If men tried to be all the mothers in this generation, it wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work. Something profound would be lost from God's order, and God's purposes would be corrupted. We need femininity for that, not masculinity. If women tried to be the sole and main spiritual leadership of this generation, that wouldn't work either. Because Isaiah 3 says that that is God's judgment on a society when the men are missing in action on that front. And something would be lost from God's order. And God's purposes would be corrupted in such circumstances. We need masculinity for that in order to see it done to God's design. So, what are the callings in Genesis 2 that we are given as man and woman in our creation design? I can sum them up in 4 words. For men, the man is made, he's put in the garden, he's got 2 jobs to do. 1, to work. And the Hebrew word is abad, A-B-A-D. The second thing is to keep. Well, there's various translations of the word, but the Hebrew word is shamar, S-H-A-M-A-R. Okay, he gets to work and to keep. And then God says something's missing. We need a woman. And so the woman is made. And the reason, the role, the place she's given is described in 2 words. The first word is helper. It's translated differently in different translations, but let's go with that one, helper. Hebrew is Azer, A-Y-Z-E-R. And the other Genesis word that is given to women is mother. Now, I want to say from the beginning, and I'll come back to this, these are not the last words on women or men. They are the first words. So in other words, they're not saying that these are limits, they're saying these are commissions, these are the starting points. These are the centers of gravity that are in a man and a woman. In addition to that, they are very good words. Remember, God saw it and called it very good. And all of God's work is perfect, and this is before the fall. And so they demand our serious attention. They demand our study. We know that they are good. We know that they are the beginning. We know that they are centers of gravity which explain why God made us different as male and female.